Just flagging right now, building some energy. Let's hope the energy is to go up and not down. All right, good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Here we are trading the NQ, or actually MNQ. Right now, Topstep has restrictions on gold, all that stuff. Let's see. I might be jumping into this trade here in just a minute. I'm going to move over to the minute chart here. 1 minute. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. All right, just making sure we're good to go. On the left side over here, we got the 30-minute chart. On the right side over here with Topstep X, we got the 1 minute chart, MNQ. Ready to go. At the end of trading today, I'll show you the my stats and where the account is. We could talk about some new stuff with Topstep and what's been going on this week. But let me get these trades in first, and then we'll go over all that good stuff. All right, everybody, we'll see you in a minute. All right, we're going to go in with one
Order
contract.
Filled.
And now we're going to go in one
Order
more.
filled.
So we got 2 contracts, long and the MNQ right now. So I got my first target on the chart here, and my second target's going to be in the 30-minute candle. So the first target is just inside of this bounce area here on the 30-minute. Second target is going to be just inside the second little bounce area, deep in there, 998 roughly. Let's put a stick on the chart. 25. All right, let's see if we can get there. Basically, when I get to my first target, I'm going to start trailing my stop. Just flagging right now, building some energy. Let's hope the energy is to go up and not down. So when you're trading, are you trading based off a proven statistical probability? Or are you just trading off of discretion and instinct and emotion? Or maybe it's subjective viewpoints and confirmation bias. Which way are you trading? One thing I'm doing is trading off of proven statistical probabilities. I have my casino accounts that I can trade discretion. And I have a lot more fun trading that way, discretionary. But I don't make any money doing that. So that's why I have my casino accounts. With that said, with my proven statistical probability setup, trading that way, I have to remind myself sometimes, you know, I get nervous when I'm in a trade. Like right now, I'm making profit. I want to take my trade off the table. I'm in profit right now. I want to get out. But then I have to remind myself, look, losers are part of the game. And you're either going to pay the market today or you're going to pay it tomorrow. And if you pay it today, it's fine, because then you're one step closer to getting back on the hot streak. It's just the way it is. You know, you're going to have hot streaks and cold streaks. You're going to have red days and green days. The problem is if I take my trade off early right now, then when I have a red day, I won't have the green day to pay for it. So I need to be able to stick to it, hang in there, and wait for my targets. And it's okay to have a red day if this turns around and goes red on me. Now, if my strategy, because of statistics, tell me at a certain point I need to move my stop, which it is coming up here in just a little bit, and I need to move my stop to break even plus a couple bucks, then that's when I move my stop. Only when it's laid out in my strategy, because there's probabilities to support that move. And when this gets to about right there at the bottom of that N, I'm going to move my stop to break even. So we're just about to that spot. The other thing I got to tell myself a lot of times when I'm trading is when I see a red candle and I'm long, that it's all right. Red candles are going to be there when you're going up, and green candles are going to be there when you're going down. It's part of the way it works. Don't freak out about it. It's the probabilities. And when I entered the trade, I should have entered the trade with a risk that I was good with. All right, here we are. Looking at my other monitor. Now we're almost there for a break-even trade. Moving into break-even in just a second here. Time is the other reason why I'll move to break-even. If it's taking forever in consolidation and things are changing in the market, then it's time to move it to break-even plus a couple bucks. But we're not quite there. Yeah, but when you're trading with the probability, then you don't have to worry about seeing red candles and green candles. It doesn't really matter. None of that matters. It's just noise on the computer screen. You're just looking to get the numbers in, because you know that if you get the numbers in, then you should have this, the reward that you're expecting. And you also know that if those numbers are falling and you're tracking that, then you're just going to hit pause on that strategy and you're going to adjust and make a new strategy. And that's basically it. So there's nothing really to worry about. Now I tell you that, but at the same time, a lot of times I sit here and I'm getting nervous. I'm like, oh, I really want it to be a winner because I hate losing. I know red days are going to be a part of trading, but I still hate losing, and I don't like red days, even though it's something that has to be part of this game. So like right now, if this trade's a loser, I'm going to be mad about it. But then I remind myself, hey, you're just one step closer to that green day. Losing is a part of the game. So from a technical standpoint, what I'm seeing is we had this area right here that was resistance right in here. This little pocket. It broke out of that resistance, came back in, so that resistance should start to become support. If this is going to be a valid move to the upside. Should become support. So this is a spot I would add to my position if I was going to add based on technical trading, which I'm not doing that. And then we should see another run to a new high here. When that happens, I'm going to move my stop to break even plus a couple dollars. And then once it come back into this support area, it might not hold. The more time support gets hit, the more likely it is to break. So I'll be break even plus a few dollars. But hopefully it just gets up here and hits this, at least the first target. Let's move it over. The other thing I like to do is ask myself, is the market trying to draw a picture? So right now I'm asking, is it going to draw an M pattern and then break down? Or a head and shoulders and then break down? What are you doing, market? Are you putting in a high, a low, and then you're going to put a lower high and then break down? I do that because I'm going to try to squeeze more out of my trade that's beyond my my initial target. Then those pictures can kind of tell me something. Oh, it might be drawing a W. Maybe in the W patterns, the breakout's right at my target. I'm going to wait for that. If it's hitting my target, it means it's breaking out. Well, then I'm going to move my limit order up and try to capture some of that breakout. So I do look at technicals from that standpoint, but I don't let the technicals influence whether or not I get in to a trade or where my stop is. All right, so now we're moving to break even plus a few bucks. Let's hope that we can at least hit this first target. If it wants to make a W here, I'll get stopped out. All right, it's basically 90% of the way here. If it gets stuck, I could take it and at 90%. Don't get stuck, NQ. Much time? I got 22 seconds left on this candle. All right, it's getting stuck. Trying to let this candle play out. All right, so this candle tried to break out and it's getting rejected, so I may take this here at 90%. All right, I'm going to drop my stop now, because it hit 90% of its target, so now I'm going to trail this candle. So if this candle wants to go red, we'll just take our 300 and be good to go. We got one more trade in the day if it happens. Actually, it would be happening. No, we'll be good to go.
Order filled.
All right, so we're out. So $294. I'll take it. That'll be done for today. Going into the weekend green. Let's see how the account's doing and where everything's at. Let's go over to performance. So right now my account is sitting. This is my funded account. If you missed the videos where I passed my evaluation, now I'm in a funded account, XFA, 150k XFA. Looking at $1,124 in this account so far. I'm doing pretty good. I took a trade last night, took a couple trades last night. That's why there's more trades on here. And I started the day off down 20 bucks. So yeah, let's talk about last night. So look up top here. You can see it says volatility update. This is new from Topstep right now. This is the second time that they've done this, I think, in a week. the restricting trading of GC, gold, silver, hogs, platinum, natural gas, a bunch of stuff here. They're restricting trading on it. I don't think you can trade those tickers right now. And then if you want to trade MGC, the micros basically, you can, but your contracts are restricted to 2, 4, and 6. Now I assume 6 would be what's restricted for a 150k account in the micros, when normally you would have, a lot, like more than 60 that you could trade. Well, last night, as part of my gold strategy, I went to add to my position and I wasn't able to. I only had one contract and they wouldn't even let me add a second contract. So it was restricted to just one contract with my account, which kind of messed me up in my gold strategy. They didn't say they were going to do that. And up here, it didn't say that. So as a result, I ended up closing the night out down $20. So it's kind of a bummer when a prop firm doesn't tell you what they're going to do, and then you go to trade your strategy, and in the middle of your strategy you can't, and then as a result you're losing money. That's not cool, but it is what it is. They got to protect their business, I guess. And right now with how volatile these things are, you guys can make some mega money. But here's the thing: in the sim environment, the XFA, the most I can take in a payout is $5,000 every 5 days. So I still have 5 more winning days before I could take another 5. And 5 more before I could take another 5 after that. So the max is 25,000 I'll be able to take out. So it's not like the old days where I could hit a home run, make 100 grand in a day, and they would have to pay it to me. That they don't do that anymore. So I'm not sure why they would restrict this in the sim, the evaluation, or in the sim funded. I get it in the live account if you're worried that people are going to blow out live accounts to the point that they're negative and you're negative because they go past what their balance was in their account. I get that. But in the sim funded environment, I don't understand it. Anyway, so last night I started down $20. The other we'll look at this real quick, and I'll give you the other Top Step news. So 1,124 in the account. You can see the graph that one day had that $500 loss, and now we're back on the green and growing. $512 I had on that one day. So my best day is bigger than my worst day. That's a good thing. We'll try to keep that going. Average winning trade 88.62. Average losing trade, I need to fix those stats. That's not a good ratio to have. But what happens is when I take a trade and then I break even plus a couple dollars because it hit 90% or time ran out, then I take $30 in that trade, and then when I have a $200 winning trade, of course it brings the average down. Whereas my losers are all pretty much, they're at the full stop. So this isn't quite accurate with the strategy, but it is what's happening in my trading. I would like to see that still be flipped. My best trade, $711. Worst trade, $637. These are the ones that matter to me. So my most profitable day and least profitable day, I want that ratio to always be where I'm making more than I'm losing. And my best trade and worst trade, I'd like to always be where I'm making more than I'm losing. On the days I scale up, this may flip because I scaled up that day. And if I scaled up into a red day, well, then these will flip for a day or two and then it should get corrected. And then the calendar. So this week I'm up $615, but I'll close the week out even with that loser on Monday. I thought it was Friday. Monday's loser. Let's go back. Let's see. January. Yeah. Okay. So January started off green, then Monday. I've only had this account for 6 days. And there we are with Topstep, and there's all the trades. All right. So the other new things with Topstep is they have new accounts they're offering. So let me show you that. They have new accounts they're offering. So the standard account, 50K is still $49. 150K is still $149. And then when you pass your evaluation, then you have to pay $149 activation fee to move on to the next account. And then you have your no activation fee. And this is new, traders. So if you're already trading with them and you have an XFA, it doesn't change for you. But if you're not trading with if you don't have an XFA yet, when you get one, there are new rules, it looks like. So, but for now, they're raising their prices. So the no activation fee account is now $209. It was $189. The 50k was $89, and it is now $109. So Topstep's starting to raise the prices of their accounts. I wonder how many more times they're going to do that. So the new rules when you get to the XFA stage. All right, so hopefully that's big enough for you to easily see if you're looking at this on the phone. So standard path to pay out 5 winning days plus of $150. It does have to be consecutive. It's just as long as every time you click that, you get that token, if you will. And you can request 50% of your account up to $5,000, 90-10 split, and you can do this 5 times. Although they're not really clear on that in this little snapshot, but in the paperwork. And that's what it said for me. 3 day. So the new path is 3 days, but 40% consistency target. Interesting that they're adding consistency in, which is one thing I liked about Topstep is they didn't have that. That almost makes me feel like this is going to start, and then eventually this is going to go away, and this is the soft like entrance into joining the rest of the prop firms with consistency targets. Which once that happens, I think Topstep is game over for them. I think other people are going to take over the prop firm space because they have platform choice. Topstep does not, and they'll be able to be a lot more competitive. I think the main selling point for Topstep right now is they don't have a consistency target, and they're introducing it now. So we'll see what they do with this. I think this is a dangerous road for them. I think they're not understanding their base by adding this. But 3 days traded with 40% consistency target. You can request 50% of your balance up to $6,000. So what's the benefit of going this direction? It looks like the benefit is as long as you are not, as long as you're hitting your consistency target, you don't need 5 winning days. But here's the thing, traders. It's almost like a trick. Because then you're thinking, oh, every 3 days I could take 40% of my account, $6,000. But at what point do they move you to live? You take a couple of payouts, they move you to live. Because you have enough money in your account. Maybe you take 5, whatever. It's at their discretion. So are you going to get moved to live at the same time with these 2 accounts? I think you will, based on what they've been showing on Topstep TV and traders being moved to live and what their balances are when they move to live. It looks like if you have 10 grand and you've taken a couple payouts, you're going to live. That's the way it looks. So then over here, if you have 5 winning days of $150, maybe you have 4 winning days of $150, and then on that 5th day, you have an awesome day. You get in the market short. The market blows right through your target. You start to trail your stop, and you have an $8,000 day. That's great. You're not penalized for that here. And when you go to take that payout, now that you've had 5 winning days, you're taking a lot more money. Over here, if I'm making on average $150 a day, $200 a day, I need to stay within 40% of what's going on, or they're going to deny my payouts. Now on that 5th day, I have that nice big giant windfall day where I make 5 grand or 6 grand. They're going to be like, denied. That's not real trading. So I wouldn't want to kneecap myself with this 40% consistency target so I can have an extra $1,000 in a payout. I don't think that's worth it, personally. I don't know why anybody would do this. But anyway, that's my thought. That's the update on Topstep. And I hope you all had a great week, and we'll see you on Monday.